Got time for one more. This one was actually suggested to me. I think it was on YouTube. Someone suggested this to me where on the YouTube video for that I did for Simple History of why Canadians go fucking ape shit during war, and they suggested I look this person up, so I did. And we are going to take a look at the one-eyed scout who liberated a whole town by himself, Leo Major of the Canadian Army during World War II. So we're going to hear about a badass one-eyed Canadian scout that soloed an entire town. Are we ready? Let's fucking go.
Leo Major, the one-eyed scout who liberated a whole town by himself. World War II. In World War II, for the Canadian effort, one soldier stands out from all the rest, Leo Major. He was a French-Canadian from Montreal, Canada. In 1940, at the age of 19, he joined the Le Régiment de la Chaudière of the Canadian Army. Their insignia underlines their fierce fighting reputation, consisting of 2 crossed Vickers machine guns with a beaver above supporting fleur-de-lis.
Okay, that insignia goes fucking hard right there. Yeah, it's got the beaver. That's a Canada thing. That's on our fucking money. But underneath it, you have 2 crossed fucking machine guns. Okay, that goes fucking hard. That is glorious right fucking there.
Private Leo Major first saw action at D-Day in France, taking part in the Normandy landings on June 6, 1944. Straight away, he distinguished himself as a scout behind enemy lines by capturing a German communications half-track.
And you know, chat, you know me. I love me the scouts. I think scouts are absolute badasses.
By capturing a German communications half-track full of secret code books. He then forced the captured crew to drive the Hanomag towards friendly lines, but was fired upon with anti-tank guns by British and Canadian troops. Leo had to climb on top of the vehicle to get them to stop firing as they drove closer.
Oh, shit!
And later remarked how happy he was that the British and Canadian soldiers didn't know how to shoot.
Oh, nothing like a backhanded slap to your own people. I'm so glad my own artillery people are absolute shit shots. Death backhand.
When the English officer asked Leo to hand over the Hanomag, Leo refused outright, stating that it was a Quebec man who captured it, and so it was handed over to the Chaudière Regiment. His war was nearly cut short when a few days later he was scouting ahead of his unit. Leo unexpectedly encountered a patrolling elite Waffen-SS unit. In the ensuing firefight, he managed to kill 4 of the enemy soldiers, but one of them, fatally wounded, managed to throw a phosphorus grenade, and Leo was hit, damaging his left eye badly.
Fuck.
Leo was then sent to a field hospital for treatment. Leo had to wear an eye patch while his eye healed, and he...
Okay. Can I just say, the fact that this man took a phosphorus grenade blast to the side of the face, survived, his eye was not fucking gone. He said that they just said they had to wear the eye patch while his eye healed, and he's still gonna keep going after this. This man is a fucking, apparently not Kara. They just said he had to wear the eye patch while his eye is healing. So apparently he is not, at this stage, lost the eye. This man is a fucking badass right here.
To a field hospital for treatment. Leo had to wear an eye patch while his eye healed, and he remarked on how he looked like a pirate. Remarkably, he refused to be sent home, stating that he only needed one good eye to aim a rifle. Quickly, he returned to the front line and continued to act as a scout and sniper for his unit. Shortly after...
You know what? He's not wrong either. With the patch over his eye while his eye healed, it made things easier. 'Cause yeah, as long as it didn't fuck up his dominant eye, she wouldn't even have to worry about closing one eye, which you're not supposed to do anyway. In proper firefighting, you're not supposed to actually close one eye when you aim. You're supposed to keep both eyes open, and you train yourself to primarily look through your dominant eye down the sights. It made it even easier. And then Revan, that was the next point I was gonna make. That was the one thing is it would be hell for his depth perception. That was the one thing that I was gonna bring up is it would make things, especially as a scout. Scouts rely upon their vision substantially. They rely upon all their senses, honestly, but vision is a key part of being a scout. And that problem with the depth perception, that would probably be the most concern in that aspect of the job, for sure. But we'll see how he does with it. Obviously, he's gonna kick ass.
After returning to active service in October 1944, he was involved in the month-long Battle of the Scheldt in Holland, which involved much heavy fighting and several amphibious landings. One day during this prolonged battle, Leo's commanding officer had ordered him to find the 50 zombies who had gone missing on patrol earlier. Zombie was a slang term used by Canadian volunteers for unenthusiastic, inexperienced Canadian conscripts in the war.
Oh, that's new. That's a new expression I've not heard before. Unenthusiastic Canadian conscripts were called zombies. Oh. True, Dragon. That could be worse things to be called. So I never. They basically that it's draft. I mean, basically draftees is what this was. This was Canadian draftees who didn't want to. This was draftees who did not want to participate. And yeah, I mean, as far as Nick covering this, you guys are free. Nick probably still has up on his Twitter ideas for a video. Feel free to tack that on. I've already made 2 suggestions on Nick's Twitter posts of it. If you guys want to suggest Leo Major on Nick's Twitter post asking for video suggestions, please go right ahead and feel free.
Leo was carrying out the reconnaissance by himself, as always wearing PT sneakers instead of heavy boots. He was deep behind enemy lines, in the dark, in freezing cold rain, muttering to himself, "I am frozen and wet because of you, so you will pay." Drenched to the skin while not finding the zombies, he did come across a garrison of German regular troops, sleeping in trenches that they had been digging all day. Noticing a snoring German officer, Leo woke him up, pointing his Sten gun at him, and then motioned him to order his men to follow him. One soldier raised his rifle and was shot dead by Leo, followed by 3 others who joined the firefight. After this, he shouted, "Achtung!" and "Handen hoch!" and the garrison quickly decided to surrender to him. He then single-handedly marched 93 German soldiers back to the Allied lines.
Wait, fucking what? By himself, he captured 93. 93 soldiers. Leo? This may be more impressive than Alvin York. Because don't forget, Alvin York actually had, it wasn't many, but Alvin York actually had what, like 7 other people to assist him? This man was solo. He literally soloed 93 German soldiers. Holy shit! Yeah, this man is a badass. Oh! Yeah!
Yeah, baby!
And Oblivion Sage, thank you for the follow.
But on the way there, they were attacked by Waffen SS troops manning an artillery battery from a neighboring village, who were infuriated that their fellow countrymen were surrendering. This left a lasting impression on Leo. The Waffen-SS unit managed to kill and injure a number of the German prisoners before being driven off by an Allied Sherman tank. Leo then handed over 93 German prisoners to his speechless commander. For his act of bravery, Leo was awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal, which is the second highest award in the British and Commonwealth, the Victoria Cross being the only one higher. But surprisingly,
this motherfucker just took down 93, took down a whole fucking German unit of 93 people by himself, and he didn't get the highest award possible? Motherfucker, why not? None of you are this badass.
the Victoria Cross being the only one higher. But surprisingly, he declined the medal, feeling the British commander, General Montgomery, who was going to present him with the award, was incompetent and therefore in no position to give him that medal. Then in February...
Fuck. Okay. God damn. Holy shit. So this man's balls are in the Guinness fucking Book of Balls with that statement. You're an incompetent asshat. You don't have the right to present me with the second highest medal of combat that the British military has. Chet, I don't care who you are or who you think, how much of a badass you think you are. You will never possess the balls that this man possessed. Okay? This man is net and net with Sergeant York in terms of the true title of badass. They are right there together, neck and neck. Sergeant Leo Majors and Sergeant York are right there with one another. And honestly, at this point, Majors is kind of pulling ahead a little bit. I will freely admit, this is not just because I live in Canada. He's kind of pulling ahead of Alvin York on this one.
February 1945, as his unit was fighting in the Rhineland in Germany, the Bren gun carrier he was traveling in hit a mine, wrecking the vehicle and killing all its occupants, except Leo. He was severely injured, including 2 badly broken ankles, 4 ribs, and his back in 3 places. Leo again refused to be shipped back home, and after a short spell in a Belgian hospital, he returned to his unit in time for their final attack to clear Holland of the last of its German occupiers. So, on April 13, 1945, the Allies were preparing to attack the large Dutch town of Zwolle, but were unsure of the strength or deployment of the German forces in the town. That evening, Leo and his friend Corporal Willie Arsenault volunteered to carry out a recon of the area. The city was planned to be bombed by Allied artillery, and this is something Leo and Willie wanted to prevent. When the two approached the outskirts of the silent town, the Germans spotted Willie after his grenade bag made a rattling noise, and he was killed by enemy machine gun fire.
Oh no.
Leo took 2 of them out, but the others fled in a vehicle. He then took his friend's Sten gun, an extra bag of grenades, then laid his lifeless body on the side. So enraged was Leo that he would go on a one-man rampage that lasted the whole night, using his submachine gun and bags full of grenades. He hijacked a nearby German scout car, disarming the driver and taking his MP-40, adding a 3rd submachine gun to his inventory. Leo made...
This man is stacking guns more than Chow Yun-fat in fucking Hard-Boiled right now. Holy crap! I mean, Moose, what you were saying? He was cold, tired, hungry, man as hell. Would you piss off a wolf? No, Moose, I'm gonna offer a small correction on that. Would you piss off the Wolverine wearing Reeboks and BDUs? Okay, this man exemplifies Logan right now probably more than just about any other Canadian soldier we've ever heard of. This is Logan going on a fucking rampage right now. And it is glorious.
made him drive to a hotel, then entered a bar. There, he disarmed a German officer who could speak French to Leo, and he made him aware that the town was to be bombed by Canadian artillery, which would result in German military and civilian casualties. The officer understood, and in good faith, Leo handed him back his pistol, allowing him to drive off in the hopes that he would evacuate his troops rather than rally an attack. Leo moved around the town for a few hours in the dead of night, firing on any German units he came up against, throwing grenades and making as much noise around town as possible. His idea was to confuse the enemy into believing that they were under attack by a far larger Allied force storming the city. He proceeded in killing or capturing German defenders as he moved from street to street, using the local river and church as reference points.
No, Revan? Wait, what do you mean? Whom are you referring to as far as, like, screw the civilians? Are you talking about Leo Major, or are you talking about the Canadian bombardment? Because if you're talking about the Canadian bombardment, yeah, you're not wrong about that. Yeah, you're not wrong, unfortunately. It's, the Canadians were very bloodthirsty. It's again, in wartime, yeah, the Canadians were bloodthirsty as hell. I don't agree with it. It's that bloodthirstiness can cause a black eye, and their willingness to shell an entire town and kill all the civilians just to get the... Wait, what? Wait, it was? Have they... Okay, they must have talked about that later. Okay, we may not... What? No, he didn't bluff. Hang on, we're at 462. Hang on, he didn't bluff. Listen.
So, on April 13, 1945, the Allies were preparing to attack the large Dutch town of Zwolle, but were unsure of the strength or deployment of the German forces in the town. That evening, Leo and his friend Corporal Willie...
Oh. Oh. Okay. You're right. She did bluff him. He did say, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
The Germans spotted Willie after his grenade bag made a rattling noise, and he was killed by enemy machine gun fire. Him drive to a hotel, then entered a bar. There, he disarmed a German officer who could speak French to Leo, and he made him aware that the town was to be bombed by Canadian artillery.
Yeah. Bombed by Canadian artillery. What the hell did I miss? I must have missed something here. Hang up, this is going to annoy me.
The city was planned to be bombed by Allied artillery, and this is something Leo and Willie wanted to prevent.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, right there. I jumped it too much. No, I didn't miss it.
Willie Arsenault volunteered to carry out a recon of the area. The city was planned to be bombed by Allied artillery, and this is something Leo and Willie...
Yeah, okay. That's something that, again, it's a bit of, it's a black eye on it. That is a black eye on the Canadian military, that they were willing to bomb an entire town just to get the Germans and not worry about the civilians. No, there's no excuse for it. There is not. And yes, I know we've got the new VIP. I just wanted to get what I was saying out. Hang on. I did see it. Hey, I will do that right now. Yo. Yo. And there we go, Stingerman. Congratulations on your VIP. Congrats. Discord mods, please make sure you introduce Stingerman to the VIP room.
Attacked by a far larger Allied force storming the city. He proceeded in killing or capturing German defenders as he moved from street to street, using the local river and church as reference points so as not to get lost. Every time he had enough prisoners, normally between 8 to 10, he would march them back to the Allied lines and drop them off, before returning to the town to carry on his one-man assault.
This man was literally farming. He was literally farming or grinding for prisoners. Oh, this guy is an absolute badass. And to me, I think Snake wishes he was Leo Majors at this point.
He is reckoned to have done this around 10 times. 4 times in the night he had to force his way into civilian houses to rest. Although terrified by his initial appearance, once they understood he was Canadian, they looked after Leo.
Okay, I would have figured that once they knew he was Canadian, they would have been even more terrified at this point, but you do you, Dutch. Good on you for taking care of the Canadian berserker.
During his rampage, he also attacked and set light to the Gestapo headquarters, further adding to the confusion. Then, finding the SS headquarters, he engaged in a firefight, killing 4 SS officers inside.
Jesus!
Then, later, Leo came across a group of...
Cortana, to your point, this is why Leo Majors was doing this. This is why he was basically doing a one-man assault on this entire town, was to try and prevent the bombing. He wanted to basically, his goal was to clear out every single German from this town, specifically so the Canadians, it would no longer be a bombing target. That the Germans were all gone, so the Canadian artillery would not bomb or shell the town and thus potentially kill the civilians. That was the whole reason for this assault. And okay, voracious. He burned down the SS. He burned down the SS command center. That's it. That's the thing that he burned down, was their command center.
4 SS officers inside. Then, later, Leo came across a group of townsmen by chance. This included a local policeman by the name of Fritz Kuiper.
Gestapo,
All
yes.
of these men were secretly members of the Dutch resistance. Leo then explained to them that the town was liberated. Then the group went on to take the town hall and bring the civilians out onto the streets. By 4:30 a.m., the German garrison had fled the town, and Leo had single-handedly liberated Zwolle.
Damn.
Leo retrieved his friend Willie Arsenal's body and returned to his unit, who had yet to advance into the town. On that morning of April 14th, the Allied forces entered the town without a shot being fired and without the loss of civilian life from the planned bombardment, due to Leo's outstanding bravery the previous night.
God damn.
For his heroism above and beyond the call of duty, he was again awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal, and this time he accepted it. After the war...
Wait. They only gave him the Distinguished Conduct Medal. They didn't give him the cross, which is the equivalent of the Medal of Honor. He still didn't get the equivalent of the fucking Medal of Honor. Are you fucking kidding me right now? That is fucking bullshit on a stick. This man fucking deserves the Victorian Cross. This man probably deserves it more than most other Canadians that fought in this fucking war. Oh, I know he was an anti-hero. I fully appreciate that.
Leo left the army and returned to civilian life to resume his old job as a pipe fitter. With the start of the Korean War in 1950, the Canadian Army joined the United Nations forces in fighting the Communist Chinese and North Korean invasion of South Korea. Leo, though only 29 years old, was seen as a veteran with a special skill set and was recruited to...
Wait. As of the Korean War, he was 29 years old. Someone help me out. It's been a... When did the Korean War start? What year did the Korean War start? 1950, 1952, or 1951? And So when he liberated that town, that must I can't remember if they said a date. That must have been like 1944 or 1945. So yeah, during World War II. Jesus. Yeah, he was like 23, 24 years old when he liberated that town. Holy shit, this man. Good God. Yeah, oh, I appreciate like around this time period, 29 was old. I fully appreciate that.
Rejoin the army and become a member of a special scout and sniper team. Then, in November 1951, the Communists attempted to take some strategic important high ground just 40 miles away from Seoul, the South Korean capital. The fighting was based around the vitally important Hill 355, nicknamed Little Gibraltar, and Hill 277. Chinese troops had captured it from the Americans, and Leo was to recapture and hold the hill. The fighting raged for days, and the Canadian commander, Lieutenant Colonel Jacques Dextraz, declared, "In the event the battalion is attacked, there will be no withdrawal, no platoons overrun, and no panics." During
Damn.
the battle, Leo commanded a unit of around 18 men, repelling whole Chinese divisions while enduring heavy artillery and mortar barrages for 3 days. Even though Leo had been ordered to retreat when the Chinese divisions counterattacked, he refused. Instead, he demanded that the commander of the mortar platoon, Captain Charlie Forbes, rain mortar fire on the enemy. The mortar fire was so close to Leo's position that the commander could hear the bombs explode when Leo spoke on his radio. And it was so intense that the mortar barrels warped from their rate of fire. For his valor and leadership under fire, Leo was awarded another Distinguished Conduct Medal for capturing and holding the key hill. Leo was the only...
Zeb, I don't know. I don't know if by this point, if maybe it was like they obviously haven't mentioned it, maybe it didn't properly heal and he had to continue wearing the eye patch, or maybe it's just for the purposes of this video, they left the eye patch on to distinguish his, his model or his sprite from all the other ones when he was engaged in the artistic license, Kaibo. Basically, yes. Maybe to distinguish him from the rest of the troops in this animation. That would be my guess, because I would have thought that they would have said, his eye never healed properly, so he continued to wear the eye patch. So this is undoubtedly probably artistic license.
Only Canadian to win the Distinguished Conduct Medal in 2 separate wars. He lived a quiet life afterwards, and in 2008, at the age of 87, passed away, having been married for 57 years and having 4 children.
Wow. Oh, wow. You know what? Was he permanently blinded? Okay. Good ending. Good ending. The story of an absolute badass. And he lived a very long and full life. Long life, full life, had lots of kids. Yeah. Good ending. I love to hear that. I absolutely love to hear that.